Families across Washington are facing a tough reality this week.
That's because SNAP benefits are ending on Friday. Experts warn this won't just hurt those on food stamps, but the entire economy. Fox 13's Alejandro Guzman explains.
The clock is ticking for families who rely on food assistance. As of Friday, all SNAP benefits are set to end, and according to federal data, 930,000 Washingtonians were enrolled in the program as of September.
If you are naive enough to think that the pause to SNAP benefits on November 1st isn't going to affect you because you don't receive food stamps, I want you to hear this.
With the government shutdown and USDA funding cuts, food banks say they're bracing for a wave of need.
We're in a really tough situation, so I don't want to sugarcoat it.
Food Lifeline works with more than 300 agencies across Western Washington. They served 2.4 million people last year. Pastor Jan Boller-Jack with the Riverton Park United Methodist Church in Tukwila, whose food pantry is supplied by Food Lifeline, says she's already seen the strain.
Probably a year ago, we were giving about 50 pounds of food to every family that came through, and families could come through 3 times a week to the food pantry. Now families can only come once a week, and they're getting about 15 pounds of food.
The toll is evident, as a community member wrote on Nextdoor saying, "I'm scared, ashamed, and desperate. With the shutdown, my SNAP is frozen and the food bank rations are getting smaller. I haven't had a meal in a few days." Even if you don't receive benefits, you could feel the impacts. According to the Food Research and Action Center, the effects will ripple through our economy as every dollar spent adds about $1.50 to $1.80 to the economy. The USDA's data agrees. This graph shows SNAP doesn't just help people buy food, but it supported more than 13,500 jobs in 2016. The United Food and Commercial Workers Union, which represents more than 1 million grocery, meatpacking, and food processing workers, has sent a letter to the USDA's Secretary, Brooke Rollins, urging her to use emergency funding to fund SNAP benefits, warning a drop in grocery sales means fewer hours and wages for workers.
But you don't receive SNAP benefits, you don't work for a grocery store, you don't drive a truck, you don't give a But when all of those things happen, the only way to combat that is to drastically increase the price of groceries.
I would consider it to be a state of an emergency.
All right, so we just heard that statement about grocery prices drastically going up if SNAP benefits go away. But explain it to us, Allie, because some people might listen to that and say, how are those two things correlated?
Correlated, yeah. I mean, there's a big issue that we're talking about here. The experts that I've been speaking with throughout the entire day warn that, yes, we know that the grocery store employees, their hours are going to be reduced. That means that they potentially could also earn less. In the grand scheme of things, you're like, what are we talking about here? Well, what is the profit margin for the grocery stores? If they start to lose that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%, this is how they're going to offset those costs. They're going to pass it on to you, to me, to every person in this community to try and recoup that money that they're losing out on. Because again, we're talking about billions of dollars that are fueled and funneled in to our economy with this SNAP program.
So if the lawmakers can't get their act together and we actually lose the benefits on Friday, what can people who aren't on SNAP do to help?
We know that there's already a lot of programs, community dinners that are scheduled for this Friday into this weekend, as you guys mentioned, and saw this woman who has just been so vulnerable. And if you go on Nextdoor, it's been one person after another just showing that they're in a really dire situation. So right now, the only thing that food banks like Food Lifeline, who supplies the rest of the food pantries in our region, is asking for is your time. You can obviously donate time, and of course, if anybody has extra funds to give during this time. We know the holidays are coming around. Those baskets that these community members are getting are just shrinking more and more every single day. We went from seeing a bulky 50 pounds of food that Pastor Jan Boller-Jack mentioned to now just 15 pounds of food, and we heard it just a couple days ago. These baskets are only coming with a canned chili, maybe an onion, coffee creamer, and they themselves are questioning, how do we even make a meal out of this? So time and money right now is everything for these food banks.
All right, reach out to your legislator. Give your opinion to them as well. In response to SNAP funding, DoorDash is starting a food emergency response program. DoorDash will hand out 1 million free meals through food banks and waiving fees for SNAP grocery orders. This starts November 1st and will last through the month.